We'd really like to have a general practitioner here. If that's not possible, then at least have the doctor come more often. Right now, people can only see her once a week. That's just not enough.
But we only have one doctor, and she's here just 1 day a week. It's really inconvenient. You end up waiting until noon, and then she's off to other places. Everything's done in such a rush.
We joke that we only get sick on Tuesdays. Otherwise, if something happens, we have to go all the way to Ryazanovo. We find a way, get a car somehow. The bus? Forget it. You can't plan around it. You have to get 2 buses, wait an hour for the next one. So mostly we go by car. There's no regular bus, unfortunately. There's really no way to get to Ryazanovo. That's a big problem. If someone needs a checkup or a sick note, and there's no doctor here, it's tough. We'd love to build a proper clinic in Kvakshino. Not just a first aid post, but a full clinic. It's a big village, and we've got lots of young people. And if not a new clinic, then at least renovate the building properly.
They did some repairs, but barely. Just patched a few spots and left. Everything's falling apart. The doors, the walls, even the doctor's office.
Being a rural doctor in Russia isn't easy. Too many patients, too few resources, and nobody's in a hurry to fix things.
Has she been coughing all night?
Yes, all night.
Go on, try to cough. She's not clearing her throat too well.
Today, we'll spend a day with one rural doctor and we'll find out more.
My name is Yevgenia. I'm a general practitioner at the Kalinin Central District Hospital, working in the Ryazanovo clinic. I'm 41 years old, and I've been here since 2006.
Besides the clinic in Ryazanovo and the first aid post in Kvakshino, Yevgenia serves another 21 villages. She visits patients at home. There are no permanent medical stations out there. Altogether, she's responsible for about 3,000 people. The government recommends no more than 1,200 per doctor, but the shortage of medical workers in Russia is nothing new. In 2021, rural areas lacked about 6,500 doctors, and it's doubtful things have changed much since then.
Do you want some tea? I was born and raised here, in Tver. Back then it was still called Kalinin. I think the idea of becoming a doctor came to me around 8th grade. We always had a lot of books at home. My mom loved to buy them. And there was one, The Secret Anatomy. I couldn't stop reading it. By 9th grade, I told my mom, I think I'm going to medical school. I remember seeing it somewhere, maybe in the bathroom or my room. Okay, this is my dressing gown. Fedya, where's your sweater? I'll head to work soon. First drop one son off at school, then drive to Ryazanovo. Take the other to kindergarten, and then to the clinic. I see patients, handle home visits if there are any, then come back to finish paperwork. Later, I pick up my younger son and we drive back to town. By about 5, we're home. Then it's homework time.
Mom, why are they filming us?
They'll show it on TV later. How much should I pour?
Then we joined Yevgenia on her way to work in Ryazanovo and found out how long her commute really is.
About half an hour, I'd say. I always drive, always by car. We managed to save a bit of the COVID bonus payments. They paid well back then. Last year, we even managed to replace the car. It was like having a second salary.
During the pandemic, healthcare workers received extra pay for treating infected patients. From April to October 2020, doctors were paid an additional $980 a month. Starting in November, it switched to about $30 per shift. By July 2022, the bonuses were reduced again to just 25% of their base salary. Paramedics, nurses, and orderlies received even less. And as often happens in Russia, not everyone actually got the payments they were promised. There were even criminal cases opened over it. Between December 2021 and February 2022 alone, doctors filed claims worth more than $180,000. So Yevgenia was one of the lucky ones. Payments during the pandemic aside, things are very difficult for Yevgenia, just as they are for all rural doctors. The lack of staff is catastrophic. The government has been trying to tackle the staffing problem, but with little success. Since 2012, there's been a program called Zemsky Doctor. It offers doctors and paramedics a one-time bonus, anywhere from $6,000 to $25,000 if they agree to move to a rural area. But that only helps for a while. Most doctors take the money, stay for a short time, and then move on to better jobs elsewhere. Since her student days, Yevgenia has dreamed of working in a clinic, but not many share that passion.
I don't really know why, but I was drawn to this kind of work. Preventive medicine, you know? Helping people understand why they should get regular checkups, tests. Talking to them about the dangers of smoking. Helping reduce risk factors. For some reason, that really appealed to me. When you're a student, you see what hospital work is like. But for some reason, I never wanted to work in a hospital. I was drawn to the clinic. I guess I'm one of the few who actually wanted to work there. You know what makes it hard? You've got so little time for each patient. You have to make quick decisions about what tests to order, what treatment to start, right there on the spot. Now it's easier with the internet. But before that, there was nothing, no online resources. You relied on reference books, notes, or just your own knowledge. In a hospital, you can step away, think, discuss with colleagues, and then decide. But here, you need to come up with an answer, right in front of the patient. Have you been discharged?
Yes, they have.
How long's your sick leave for?
I don't know. Probably till tomorrow.
Really?
Yes.
You sure?
Yes, really.
So they've not extended it?
No.
Let's check, I don't believe it.
No.
Go on, I'll check the digital sick note.
I'll stay here, I guess.
Come on! There used to be a dentist here. A dentist and a midwife who did lab tests. If I had to take on midwifery too, managing pregnancies and all that, that'd be too difficult. Back then, we had more staff. 3 doctors, a midwife, a paramedic, a dentist. That was in Soviet times. 3 or 4 nurses. And now there are just 3 of us left. Some patients need 20 minutes, others just 3. But it's not like, time's up next. No, it doesn't work that way. We use the bar system. It's been frozen since morning.
It's not working.
Nothing's working, yeah. Usually, it starts lagging around lunchtime. 10 people are signed up for repeat visits. We don't know how many new ones there'll be. Look, 2 are already done. Yulia, how many kids are coming today?
A lot.
How many?
30!
30? Seriously? Let's take a swab, just in case, Nina. Open your mouth. Yeah, who knows what it is? Your throat too?
Yeah, it's chronic.
You're still taking 50 milligrams, half a tablet, right?
Half, yes. 50 milligrams.
Sometimes it happens. Just weakness, no fever at all.
Yeah, it's strange. I was fine running around. And then suddenly, I'm looking longingly at my bed.
One of the biggest problems with the clinic is that it's never been properly repaired.
This building belongs to the Kalinin District Administration. We just use it rent-free. It was built back in the 70s. around the time they built the Verkhnevolodzhskaya poultry farm, the last repairs the administration did for us. That was what, 3 or 4 years ago? But the problem isn't the paint, it's the roof. When the snow melts, the water pours down like a shower. You could redo the interior every year, and it wouldn't help.
When the village was first planned, there wasn't even a clinic in the design. The director of the poultry farm had to open one himself in a building shared with shops and the post office. They're promising to start construction of a new facility this summer, but when it will actually appear, no one knows.
I've been living here since 1974. The place hasn't been renovated since 1976. When it rains, we have to put out basins to catch the water. It's impossible for patients to sit here. People come with newborns. There was a bit of cosmetic repair once, but never a full renovation. The roof leaks, the linoleum's worn out. It's uncomfortable for everyone, for the patients, and for the doctors too. You go to the city clinic or hospital, everything's clean, nice to look at. But here, well, it's another story.
From 2002 to 2019, the number of medical institutions in Russia was cut in half. So in a way, the locals here are still lucky. At least they have a clinic, even if it barely meets standards.
Overall, things are okay. The doctors see us, we get medical help on time. We're satisfied, really.
Tatiana. Hello, this is Yevgenia. How are you feeling? Should we come visit today? No need anymore? You're feeling better? No fever, that's good. Thanks. Goodbye. She's fine now. Doesn't want us to come. Let me see what it's showing. It's 37 already. I've written down the prescription. Nasiven, 1 drop 3 times a day. For your throat, any lozenges like Pharyngocept.
At least there are enough medications for everyone.
Yes, there's enough, though we don't use that many medicines ourselves. We've got a basic emergency kit, first aid supplies, all that. And downstairs there's a pharmacy, a private one. Usually people just buy what they need. If someone suddenly needs surgical help, I call the 112 service. That's the ambulance. They come, take the patient, and depending on which hospital is on duty that day, that's where they're taken. Appendicitis, a hernia, bleeding, if we suspect something like that.
During the pandemic, we were once again reminded just how important the medical profession is.
Now we remember it like a bad dream. COVID, imagine, especially back then. In February 2022, when that Omicron or whatever it was came, people were coming here non-stop, 50 a day. A person walks in, I'm filling out the paperwork, the girls are taking swabs, 50 tests a day. The car leaves, and then you go out to make house calls. It was a relief when in 2022, they finally canceled the rule about taking repeat tests before discharging patients. We could just write them off once they recovered. Before that, though, we still had to go around taking repeat tests, 3 or 4 extra hours every day. And it was 30 degrees Celsius. You're wearing thermal underwear, tights, and then the protective suit on top. Hop into an old UAZ van. It's 30, but you're going out to take swabs again. We got sick ourselves, of course. 2, maybe 3 times, I think.
Some got sick and others kept working.
Yes, some worked through it. Svetlana and I stayed here until late at night. And then you still had to enter all the data into the system. Children are here. Hello. How many do we have here?
Well, I don't know.
Is that everyone or is someone else coming?
That's everyone.
That's everyone. 10 people, hooray. Let's go. What? Did you come just to sit around? Will it hurt? Of course it'll hurt. Come on, Nikita. Come on, come on. Go ahead, Yegor. You're first. Well done. And you're third. This is the routine vaccination for first graders, 6 or 7 years old. Some get rubella as scheduled. Others diphtheria, tetanus, and polio. 36-6, good. Come on in. Don't they want it?
During the pandemic, the medical staff faced enormous pressure. They often had to work far beyond their normal hours. That's why a limit of 120 hours of overtime per year has now been set, and additional leave is provided to prevent overworking medical personnel.
We had 37 patients today, 10 of them children who came for vaccinations. Those are the first graders due for their age-based shots. When did we start? Around 8:15, and we finished just now at noon. Not bad. Now we'll have some tea, then 3 house calls to make. And after that, I'll come back and do the paperwork. Hello, it's the clinic. It's Yevgenia. Heart rate is 100 beats per minute. You didn't take pictures of everything I needed. I can get in touch with the cardiology center, the emergency cardiac care one. I send them the ECG the same way. They look at it and confirm for me whether it's a heart attack or not. It's really great. For example, those who are studying in residency or internship and don't get enough practice, they should come and see patients. I'll take a little break. You'll treat the patients, but I'll help you along the way. Please come. There are 3 house calls, one here in this building, then one in the last building, and then one more in the cottages. So we won't take the car, we'll go on foot.
To the problems already mentioned, we can safely add another one, the issue of transportation breakdowns. The UAZ vehicle provided by the state is barely running. It's constantly in need of repair. That's not a big deal when patients are nearby, but Yevgenia has to drive her own car to the neighboring villages.
Well, the UAZ is being repaired. I just called the garage manager. He said they took out the engine. It's been sent off for repair. He said that if nothing unexpected happens, it should be fixed tomorrow or the day after.
There are villages that are difficult for Yevgenia to reach, especially in the Russian winter. You can simply get stuck, but that's not the only place she has to go to.
Once a week, we go to the Central District Hospital, sometimes to pick up medicines, sometimes to drop off paperwork, sometimes reports. There's always something. Or, for example, to bring or take vaccines. That's what the vehicle is for. Yulia, it's Yevgenia. Hello! Nastasia, what a beauty. She's a bit chubby, isn't she?
I feed her a lot.
Feed her a lot? So what are you rubbing on her?
With cream. We use baby cream too. This one here as well.
This one, yes. This one works well.
I've lived here since childhood, and I've been treated here. I've known Yevgenia since I was a kid.
It's harder to work with patients when they're no longer strangers to you.
Just imagine, I've lived here among them for 9 years. They all come here, practically the same people, and I already know who's related to whom, and I know what illnesses they've had. On one hand, of course, that makes things easier. You don't have to figure out their whole medical or life history. It really does make the work easier. It shortens appointment time. But on the other hand, you get attached to these people, and then you start worrying about them. So you have your own family, 5 or 6 people, but then imagine 3,000 people you also care about. Before, I used to get a lot of calls, especially in the evenings. People would write to me about all sorts. Now it's less frequent. I guess they've realized that I try not to communicate with patients in the evenings, outside of working hours. It's calmer for me that way. I don't worry as much, because imagine someone calls, "Oh, I feel so bad," and then you can't relax anymore. It's best not to develop personal relationships with your doctor. It's considered wrong to treat your own relatives. There are always complications that come up. In general, personal feelings shouldn't interfere. In any diagnostic or treatment process, it has to be a cold, rational approach. When there's too much empathy and emotional involvement, it doesn't help, no. And the fewer doctors there are, the harder it is to work in the clinic. Ideally, it shouldn't be just one doctor filling a gap. 10 districts should get 10 new doctors all at once. But I think, first of all, there's just no prestige in district work. There really isn't. Look at who gets shown on TV. Surgeons performing operations, or doctors doing prosthetics. But this kind of everyday, routine work, no one talks about it. Maybe people don't even realize that if you come to the Kalininskia Central District Hospital, you can earn something. Our staff don't earn much. They get $200 with bonuses. Now they've promised to add another $80 or so they'll get around $280. Can you imagine how to live on that? How to raise children? You need to eat, to buy clothes. Imagine, Yulia, a member of our staff, also had another job. She worked part-time as a nurse at a kindergarten. At least it was some extra money, yes. But now they've cut those positions too. They don't need a medical worker in the kindergarten anymore. Svetlana, another member of our staff, now works at the garage, and she goes to do pre-shift medical checks. At the poultry farm, that's at night, you see. How did she even manage to come in after a night shift today? She worked the night and then came in. Our medical assistant is Kvakshino, isn't a nurse, but she handles everything just the same. Today, she's doing the primary consultations there. While I'm here, she's over there. If there's anything complicated or unclear, or repeat cases, she sends them to me, or I go myself. But the entire primary intake is on her, and she gets $180.
After work, Yevgenia showed us her house, the one where she and her family lived during the summer.
Are you coming? I went to the local administration and wrote a request, saying I wanted a plot of land. They gave it to me on lease. That was back in 2010, I think. By 2012, we had finished all the lease paperwork. And then, when you build a residential place, well, we built a house, registered it as one. And in 2015, we bought the land out of lease. So now it's ours. There's a utilities compensation, $650 a month, I think. There's no gas here, though, so it's wood heating. You have to keep the fire going. If there are severe frosts, you even have to get up at night to add more wood. And the road, of course. The road's a problem. In winter, it's not too bad. A tractor can get through and clear the snow. But in spring, when everything starts to melt, for a whole month it's a mess, hard to pass. So yes, the road and transportation are issues. Otherwise, we've got everything here. Toilet, water, sewage, and now fiber optic internet. The governor awarded me this certificate for conscientious work in healthcare in the Tver region. Yes. For Medical Workers' Day.
On the way back, we heard the story of how new medical staff are found locally.
I think it was around 2010 or 2012, quite a while ago. Galina, an elderly woman, was working as the rural doctor, but she just couldn't continue anymore. She was retiring. A paramedic was needed. What could we do? That's when social networks like VK had just appeared. I found a group for the Zhiv Medical College on VK and wrote there, I don't even remember to whom. Please post an announcement. Maybe one of your graduates, or maybe a family, might want to come work here as a paramedic. The local administration really helped. They provided housing, a service apartment, so there was a place to come to, a place to live and to work. And imagine, someone actually responded. It was great for me. I really needed a paramedic. She practically does all the procedures there herself. The only thing is, when there's a complicated case, changing treatment for hypertension, ulcers, stomach issues, then a doctor's consultation is needed. I have just one day off, Sunday. Of course, one day isn't enough. because you end up spending that one day on housework and never really get time for yourself. I'd love to have two, one day to get things done at home, and another just to go somewhere. Take a walk, something like that. Why do doctors burn out? Well, from the endless workload. From the constant stream of patients, probably. And from the difficult ones, too. It's no secret that some patients can be very demanding, even aggressive. Sometimes it's from a sense of helplessness. When you've tried everything and still can't help. But mostly it's from overwork. From this non-stop, irregular schedule. We get tired, hardly any rest. It used to happen that since the doctor lived right next door, if something happened at night or in the evening, people would come, but you'd already be exhausted. The kids were still very small. Misha was always on the road. That's his job. Imagine, your child is at home, 1.5, maybe 2 years old. It's 8 in the evening, he's still awake, and someone knocks, needing help. You can't just leave a 2-year-old home alone. That was always the dilemma. How do you leave and still run to help?
Doctors are under enormous pressure, but the state is in no hurry to pay them fairly for their work.
You see, the salary consists of a base rate. That's a small part. Mine is about 110. Everything else that brings it up to a decent amount is called a performance bonus for intensive work. Working 1.5 shifts, I earn about $850. Well, that's considered a good salary, yes. That's what I'm saying. Here in the Kalinin district, the reason there are no doctors is that, while you can make fairly decent money for Tver, it's still not enough to attract people, and it's not even that far to travel.
To earn $850, Yevgenia has to work 1.5 shifts. In 2012, Putin set a goal to raise doctors' salaries to 200% of the regional average. But by 2022, that goal still hadn't been achieved. It's also important to remember that the doctor's salary includes not just the base pay, but also bonuses for years of service, performance incentives, awards, regional coefficients, and various compensations. The workload is so heavy that doctors can't meet all the required standards, which means their salaries are reduced.
What is my mission? Well, to help people, I suppose. And maybe to be an example for others in how to live, in one's attitude. In this tangled healthcare system of ours, to help people find their way a little. To prepare for surgery, to guide them in the right direction, to offer support, that's what it's about. Helping people, advising them, prescribing treatment that actually helps. People come and say, "Oh, I was in pain, but now I'm not." Or, "My blood pressure was high, and now it's back to normal." That's what makes the work worthwhile. When you've made the right diagnosis. I'm generally positive about life. I tend to believe that people are good, honest, and wish each other well. What would I change in our hospitals and clinics? Well, we need a new building, yes. Higher salaries for the medical staff. And new transport. And another doctor. Maybe not right away, not next year, but someday. It's becoming impossible to work in these conditions. Things should get better.
Russia's healthcare system is going through difficult times. Ryazanovo lies only 200 kilometers from Moscow, and one can only imagine what conditions are like farther away. The state could invest in infrastructure, build proper clinics, and attract young specialists. But so far, all attempts to improve the situation have been ineffective and disappointing. It is encouraging, however, that there are still doctors who remain true to their profession, who care about their patients, and who continue to persevere through every hardship.